This drill is power down to feel your power source. So many golfers ask me on the site, you know, am I pulling too much with my arms? Am I using my legs or my core enough? I found this little kind of bridge drill that you can do to help you identify and train where your power source should be. Many golfers just try and get up there and swing hard from different areas of their body, and while sometimes that works, I find that it's not very repeatable golfer to golfer. So in this process, we're going to swing a little bit slower, but we're going to focus on what is controlling the movement, and I'll give you a couple little tips to help you figure out exactly how to feel in your body what is controlling the movement. So we're going to start by baselining your swing with the 3 times slower downswing method. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to get set up and you're going to take a regular swing, but I want the downswing to take 3 times longer than normal. So you're going to go up to the top of your swing, and it forces you to match the rhythm and match the tempo. So this is a 7-iron and I just hit that about 90 yards. Now, in order to help identify my power source, I'm going to do the same thing, but I have to bring it back 20 yards. So I'm going to try and hit this 20 yards shorter with the same movement. So 3 times slower downswing, just going to throttle back 20 yards. So fairly successful, brought it back to the front of the green from the back of the green. The next question is the key part of this drill, and that's to ask yourself, how did you do it? What most of you will find is that you had a little bit less tension in your arms, but you actually slowed down the rate of where your core was, or the rate of core movement. So now you've identified what it feels like to take your power source, the ideal power source, and throttle it down. Now we're going to take the power source and throttle it up. And so we're going to gradually work our way back up to our 80% swing. So now I'm going to try and take my core movement that I just did, keep the same arm movement, and go a little bit faster with the core. So got a little out of sorts with my arms, so I ended up pulling it, but overall not that bad, not that poor of using my core, just arms got a little bit more involved. So now I'm going to try and ratchet it up closer to my 80% level, but feeling it mostly from that core power source. So definitely not my 100% all out, but felt like I controlled that a little bit more with the core. So now I'm getting what it feels like to swing harder from one part of my body and keeping the same intensity at another part of my body. Now I'm going to try and add even a little bit more from my core, but keep the same level of tension or activity in my arms. So I'm going to ramp this up. So quiet, still relatively quiet with the arms, a little bit disconnected. So I crossed pretty much my threshold. What most people find is that the place where they will hit the ball the furthest and the best is somewhere around 80%. In fact, I've done many different individual case studies on TrackMan where I'll have a golfer swing 80% and dial in their distance, and then I'll ask them to swing 100, and I'd say probably about 70% of the time the speed of the club head will actually decrease when they swing at 100% compared to when they swing at 80%. But I'll probably do a separate video on that. So back to this, we're trying to get that feel of the core. If I lose it, I'm going to go back to a shorter or a 3 times slower downswing, and then how would I take it off? I felt I moved this a little bit slower to speed it up. I'm basically going to do the opposite. This is one way for you to feel some of the subtleties of if you're pulling more with your arms, pushing with your legs, or powering it with your core. If you lose sense of it, go to the slower one. If you're practicing beyond your speed of awareness, there's a good chance that you're not really kind of training the brain. You're not really helping it figure out what you need to do differently. And slowing them down gradually, or taking bigger jumps in tempo is one fast way to make yourself temporarily more aware, and I find it especially helpful when you're looking at power training.